think she doesn't like you? She replies late. She acts normal. She doesn't flirt. She doesn't text first. So you assume she's not interested. But what if I told you the girl who thinks about you the most is often the one who hides it the best? Today, I'll show you 5 quiet signs she's thinking about you non-stop, even if she never says it. Comment, no more confusion. Number 1. She remembers small details. She remembers the small detail you mentioned 3 weeks ago about how you wake up at 5 to train before work. She casually asks if you are still keeping that routine. She brings up the name of your younger sibling. She recalls the exact day you said you had a presentation, and you pretend it means nothing. While inside you feel that surge of validation because someone is paying attention to parts of your life that most people ignore. And this is where you must slow your mind down and observe instead of react, because memory is emotional investment, and emotional investment is never random. People only store what they replay, and she replays you in her mind more than you think. Yet instead of seeing this clearly, you overanalyze why she takes hours to reply, or why she does not shower you with praise. And you miss the deeper signal, which is that she tracks your narrative over time. She connects dots between past and present conversations. She references your goals. She remembers your struggles. And that tells you that you occupy cognitive space in her day. And that is powerful leverage if you know how to handle it. But most people ruin this moment by becoming overly eager, by increasing their effort suddenly, by trying to secure certainty too fast. And they lose the calm presence that created attraction in the first place. So you must apply discipline here. You respond with grounded energy. You acknowledge but do not over-celebrate. You continue focusing on your path, because the strongest position you can hold is emotional control while recognizing interest. And if she remembers your small details while still acting composed, that means she values you, but fears losing position. She wants to maintain dignity while staying connected, and that tension is not your enemy, it is your advantage. You do not punish her for being cautious, but you also do not reward half effort with full access. You stay steady. You keep building your routine. You improve your health. You increase your competence. You deepen your purpose, and you let your life speak louder than your need for reassurance. Because the deeper truth is that your obsession with whether she likes you distracts you from asking whether you are becoming the kind of person who commands respect without asking for it. And when you shift your focus toward mastery of your own habits, something changes in the dynamic. You stop scanning every message for hidden meaning and start evaluating patterns over time. You stop chasing clarity and start embodying clarity. And this is where Stoic discipline transforms your situation. You separate what you control from what you do not. You control your effort, your schedule, your fitness, your finances, your mindset, and you release the urge to control her pace, her fears, her internal conflict, because control over self creates stability that others gravitate toward. And when she sees that you remain consistent regardless of her subtle tests, she feels safe leaning in further. Yet you are not waiting for that outcome. You are building regardless. And that shift in energy makes you dangerous in the best way possible, because you no longer react emotionally to every small signal. You interpret it strategically. You ask yourself, does she consistently remember details? Does she bring up my progress? Does she connect emotionally over time? And if the answer is yes, you escalate calmly by offering clear plans. Instead of emotional speeches, you invite her into your world rather than begging to enter hers. And if she declines without effort to reschedule, you accept it without resentment and redirect your focus back to growth, because your value does not depend on her response. And this mindset alone separates those who stay trapped in confusion from those who transform their lives entirely. You become someone who notices interest without being controlled by it. Someone who understands that memory equals mental presence, but still prioritizes self-respect above validation. And in doing so, you turn what once felt like anxiety into leverage. You turn uncertainty into motivation, and you realize that the real transformation is not convincing her to like you, but becoming so grounded in your mission that whether she does or not no longer defines your self-worth. And that is the point where attraction shifts from something you chase to something that aligns naturally with who you are becoming. And if you are serious about becoming that grounded, disciplined, unshakable version of yourself, then the Stoic Relationship Blueprint ebook for men is built exactly for this transformation, because it breaks down timeless Stoic principles into practical daily actions that reshape how you think, respond, and lead in modern relationships. It shows you how to control your emotions, strengthen your standards, build real confidence, and stop over-investing in people who have not earned your time, all in simple steps you can apply immediately. It is now available in audiobook format, which means you can absorb this life-changing knowledge while walking, training, driving, or clearing your mind alone, turning wasted hours into personal evolution. Ask yourself honestly how different your life would feel if you never again felt confused about someone's mixed signals and instead moved with certainty and strength every single day. The link is in the comments, and once you get it, the knowledge is permanently yours to revisit anytime you need grounding, clarity, and direction, because growth should never be temporary. Number 2, she watches you. Quietly. She watches you more than she speaks about you. She tracks your patterns without announcing it. She notices when you change your haircut, when you skip the gym, when your tone in messages becomes shorter, when your social media activity drops, when you post less, when you post more, and you pretend not to see it because it is not loud attention, it is not obvious praise, it is not public admiration, but it is consistent observation. And observation is never neutral, because people do not invest mental energy into monitoring someone they feel nothing toward. Yet you misread her restraint as lack of care simply because she does not perform her interest dramatically, and that misunderstanding keeps you anxious, checking your phone, wondering why she does not initiate more, while she is quietly studying your behavior to decide whether you are stable, disciplined, and worthy of deeper involvement. And this is where you must wake up and see the dynamic clearly. She is not confused about you. She is evaluating you, and evaluation triggers insecurity only when you are not certain about your own direction. So instead of resenting her caution, you improve your consistency. You build routines so strong that even if she disappears tomorrow, your schedule remains untouched. You wake up at the same time. You train. You execute your work tasks. You pursue your long-term vision, because stability in action creates psychological weight. And when she observes that your mood does not swing with her availability, that your purpose does not bend around her replies, that your attention is selective and not desperate, her curiosity intensifies. Yet you must not perform this behavior to manipulate. You adopt it because it strengthens you regardless of outcome. And this is where Stoic discipline becomes practical instead of philosophical. You focus only on your conduct. You regulate your emotional reactions. You detach from chasing validation. You accept that her quiet watching is part of her internal process. And you do not chase reassurance to calm your anxiety, because the moment you seek reassurance, you reveal instability. And instability reduces perceived value in modern dating, where attention is abundant and patience is rare. So you hold your frame, you communicate clearly but sparingly. You avoid oversharing your insecurities. You let your actions speak repeatedly over time, and if she increases her engagement when you pull back slightly, you note the pattern without becoming reactive, because that pattern shows that your presence holds weight. And you must understand that weight comes from self-control, not from emotional intensity. And if she pulls back to test your reaction, you do not flood her with messages. You do not interrogate her distance. You continue your mission as planned, because when you react impulsively, you confirm that your world revolves around her approval, and that destroys attraction faster than rejection ever could. So instead, you develop internal strength by journaling your thoughts, writing down your weekly targets, measuring your progress objectively, improving your posture, your grooming, your communication skills, your financial discipline, because every upgrade increases your leverage in subtle ways that she notices even if she never verbalizes it. And when she asks small questions like why you seemed busy or why you looked focused lately, you respond confidently without over-explaining. You show that your life contains depth beyond her presence, and that depth triggers respect, and respect precedes genuine attraction. Yet here is the controversial truth you must accept without sugarcoating it. If she watches you, but never invests beyond minimal effort over a long period, if she tracks but does not commit, if she reacts but does not progress, then she enjoys attention more than connection. And your responsibility is not to convince her otherwise, but to withdraw your emotional investment gradually and redirect it toward growth. Because self-respect demands reciprocity, and reciprocity is not forced through speeches, but through boundaries. And boundaries are enforced through action, not debate. So you observe her consistency the same way she observes yours. You assess patterns instead of isolated moments. You decide based on evidence, not fantasy. And this shift from emotional guessing to strategic awareness transforms you completely. You stop living in suspense and start living in purpose. You stop waiting for signs and start creating momentum in your own life. And ironically, that momentum often increases her pursuit. Yet even if it does not, you have already elevated yourself beyond dependence, and that is the real victory. Because when you master the discipline of focusing on what you control and releasing the need to decode every subtle behavior, you become centered, grounded, and resilient. And that resilience makes you rare in a culture of constant emotional overreaction. And from that position, you no longer fear her quiet watching. You understand it, you leverage it, and you remain unshaken whether she steps forward or fades away, because your identity no longer hinges on being chosen. It hinges on choosing your own standards daily and executing them relentlessly. Number 3, she reacts emotionally. She reacts when your behavior changes, and that reaction tells you more truth than her polite words ever will, because emotion exposes attachment in ways logic tries to hide, and you see it clearly when you take longer to reply and her tone shifts. When you mention another person and she becomes distant. When you cancel plans and she responds with subtle irritation. When you focus on your goals and suddenly she increases effort. And instead of recognizing this as investment, you question yourself and rush to stabilize her feelings as if her discomfort is your responsibility. And this is where you sabotage your own position, because emotional reaction is not a problem to fix, but a signal to read calmly, and the more reactive she becomes to small changes in your availability, the more space you occupy in her internal world. Yet you panic because you crave harmony more than respect. You want reassurance more than leverage. You apologize for having a life. You over-explain your schedule. You try to soothe every tension, and in doing so, you communicate that her approval controls your emotional state, and that imbalance weakens attraction instantly. So you must shift your mindset from pleasing to leading, from reacting to observing, from chasing calm to embodying calm. And this is where disciplined self-control transforms the dynamic entirely. Because when she tests your consistency through emotional spikes, you remain steady. You do not escalate conflict. You do not withdraw in bitterness. You maintain your pace and your plans. And that steadiness forces her to confront her own feelings without you absorbing the pressure. And you must understand that many people unconsciously test resilience before committing deeper. They want to see if you crumble under small emotional shifts, or if you hold your ground with composure. And if you collapse every time she reacts strongly, you confirm instability. But if you stay composed and respectful while maintaining boundaries, you communicate strength without aggression, and that strength commands attention. Yet you must also confront a harder truth that most avoid. Sometimes emotional reactions are not signs of deep affection, but signs of insecurity and control. Sometimes she reacts not because she values you, but because she fears losing influence. And if you ignore that possibility, you may mistake possessiveness for connection, so you evaluate patterns carefully. Does her emotional reaction lead to growth and openness? Or does it lead to manipulation and guilt? Does she take accountability after reacting, or does she blame you for everything? And your response determines the future of the interaction, because if you reward controlling behavior with reassurance and overcompensation, you train her to repeat it. But if you respond with calm firmness and continue prioritizing your standards, you shift the dynamic toward mutual respect, and this requires introspection on your part. You must ask yourself why her emotional swings trigger anxiety in you. Is it fear of abandonment, fear of being alone, fear of not being enough? And until you confront those internal weaknesses, you will continue reacting instead of leading. So you begin building internal security through disciplined habits. You train consistently, you improve your communication skills, you expand your social environment, you set measurable goals for your career, because progress in your own life reduces dependence on external validation. And when your life contains depth and direction, you no longer overreact to her reactions. You see them as information, not threats, and that shift is powerful, because when she senses that you are emotionally stable, she relaxes or she leaves, and either outcome benefits you, since stability filters out those who seek drama while attracting those who respect composure. And you must accept without bitterness that modern dating often rewards emotional unpredictability. But you choose a different path. You choose controlled responses, deliberate action, and steady growth, because real strength lies in mastering yourself before attempting to manage others. And when you embody this discipline consistently, her emotional reactions lose the power to destabilize you. Instead, they become confirmation that your presence matters. And from that grounded position, you decide rationally whether the connection aligns with your long-term standards. You do not cling to intensity simply because it feels exciting. You prioritize compatibility, accountability, and shared direction. And this approach transforms your experience completely, because you stop chasing emotional highs and start building stable foundations. And in doing so, you elevate your life beyond the constant cycle of confusion and validation seeking. You become someone who interprets emotion with wisdom rather than fear. Someone who remains steady when tension appears. Someone who uses every interaction as an opportunity to refine discipline and clarity. And that evolution is the true advantage hidden within her reactions. Because the moment you stop fearing emotional shifts and start responding with calm authority, you step into a higher level of self-mastery that changes not only your relationships, but every area of your life. Number 4, she creates accidental moments. She places herself in your path and pretends it is coincidence. She responds to your story with a small reaction that keeps the thread alive. She asks a simple question that does not require depth, but reopens the door. She shows up where she knows you will be. She engages just enough to maintain connection without risking rejection. And you sense it, yet you hesitate because you fear misreading it. But repeated proximity is not random. Repeated soft contact is intention wrapped in caution. And if you are honest with yourself, you notice the pattern clearly. She does not disappear fully. She keeps a light thread attached, and that thread exists because losing access to you feels heavier than maintaining pride. Yet here is the uncomfortable truth. She wants connection without responsibility. She wants attention without vulnerability. She wants reassurance without commitment. And if you accept that half measure without standards, you teach her that minimal effort secures full access to you. So instead of celebrating every small gesture, you evaluate consistency over time. You measure whether her actions gradually increase or remain safe and stagnant. And if they remain stagnant, you do not complain. You reduce your availability and redirect your focus toward building substance in your own life. Because the moment you chase someone who only offers accidental moments, you downgrade your own value, and value in modern dating is tied to scarcity and self-respect. So you act with calm precision. When she creates an opening, you respond clearly and lead with a direct plan, not a vague conversation loop. You suggest a specific time and place. You make it simple, and then you step back and observe her response. If she accepts and invests effort, you proceed. If she hesitates without offering alternatives, you pull back without drama, because discipline means you do not negotiate with ambiguity. You move toward clarity, and if clarity does not appear, you move forward alone. And this mindset requires emotional strength that most people avoid developing, because it demands that you detach from the comfort of attention and face the possibility of rejection without resentment. Yet that detachment is freedom, because when you no longer cling to accidental contact, you reclaim your focus, and that focus transforms your energy. You wake up earlier, you commit to structured routines, you plan your week intentionally, you reduce time spent scrolling and increase time spent executing goals. You cultivate physical strength and financial growth. And when your life becomes fuller, accidental moments lose their power to control your mood. You appreciate interest, but you are not dependent on it, and that shift changes how she perceives you as well, because people value what is not easily accessible. They respect those who do not orbit around their schedule, and when she senses that your time is structured and purposeful, she must either step up or step aside, and both outcomes benefit you. Yet you must confront another harsh reality. Some individuals create repeated accidental contact simply to keep options open, not because they see long-term potential. And if you ignore that possibility, you risk investing in a placeholder dynamic. So you test through action, not conversation. You lead once or twice clearly. You observe the level of effort returned, and then you decide. You do not linger in endless low-effort exchanges, because lingering drains ambition and blurs standards, and standards define the quality of your life. So you build internal resilience by separating desire from discipline. You may feel drawn to her, you may enjoy her presence, but you do not sacrifice your mission for proximity. And this is where applying self-control becomes transformative. You remind yourself daily that your worth does not rise or fall based on someone's subtle signals. Your worth increases when you honor your commitments, when you finish tasks even when motivation drops, when you keep promises to yourself, and that internal alignment radiates outward, making accidental encounters shift into intentional pursuit or fade away entirely. And both reveal truth, because when you stop rewarding minimal investment and start rewarding reciprocity, you filter your environment naturally. You attract those who respect your time and repel those who seek convenience, and that filtering process elevates every relationship in your life, not just romantic ones, because the discipline you apply here extends into business, health, friendships, and self-image. And gradually you notice that you are no longer anxious about who creates accidental moments. You are focused on creating deliberate progress, and that transformation turns what once felt like confusion into clarity, what once felt like longing into leverage, and what once felt like emotional dependence into structured growth. And this is how you turn subtle behavior into self-mastery, by refusing to be controlled by crumbs of attention and choosing instead to build a life so intentional that only serious effort gains access to it. Number 5. What to do when you notice this? When you finally see the pattern clearly and accept that she is thinking about you more than she admits, this is the exact moment your discipline gets tested, because awareness without control turns into ego, and ego destroys leverage. So the first thing you do is regulate yourself internally. You slow your reactions, you stop fantasizing about outcomes, you stop rushing to lock anything down, and you return your focus to your structure, because structure is power. And most people in modern dating operate without structure. They wake up checking messages instead of checking goals. They plan their day around replies instead of responsibilities. They let emotional uncertainty dictate productivity, and that weakness silently lowers their value. So you reverse that immediately by building a written plan for your life. You define your health targets, your income targets, your skill development targets, and you break them into daily measurable actions that you complete regardless of who texts you or who does not. Because when your progress becomes non-negotiable, your confidence becomes internal instead of dependent. And this shift alone changes how you show up in every interaction. You speak slower, you move with intention, you do not over-explain your schedule, you do not apologize for being busy, and if she senses distance, she must step toward you rather than you collapsing toward her. And this is where many fail because they mistake intensity for connection. They think constant contact equals depth, but depth is built through shared values and consistent action, not constant messaging. So when you notice she is invested mentally, you lead calmly. You create opportunities for real interaction instead of endless digital back and forth. You propose clear plans and you observe effort, because effort reveals priority, and if she declines repeatedly without counter-effort, you withdraw respectfully and permanently, not as punishment, but as principle, because standards without enforcement are fantasies, and enforcing standards requires emotional independence, which you cultivate daily through disciplined habits, through physical training that strengthens your body, through skill building that increases your competence, through social expansion that reduces scarcity mindset, because scarcity mindset makes you tolerate disrespect. And when you tolerate minimal effort, you communicate fear of losing options, so you remove that fear by creating options within yourself first. You build a life where your time is valuable even if nobody is watching, and that internal richness reflects externally. Yet you must also confront uncomfortable truths about modern dynamics. Some people enjoy keeping someone mentally attached without committing fully. They enjoy attention, validation, access, and they will stretch that dynamic for months if you allow it. So you cut through that cycle by escalating once with clarity, and then observing consistency. If consistency appears, you invest gradually. If inconsistency repeats, you exit calmly. And exiting calmly is a skill that most never master because they fear loneliness more than stagnation. But loneliness used correctly becomes growth. It gives you space to refine your mission, to sharpen your thinking, to analyze your past behaviors honestly, and to identify patterns where you previously over-invested. And you correct those patterns with discipline, not bitterness, because bitterness weakens judgment, while discipline strengthens it. And throughout this process, you maintain composure in communication. You do not argue about mixed signals. You do not beg for clarity. You act in ways that invite clarity naturally, and clarity always reveals itself over time when you stop chasing it desperately. And as you operate from this grounded place, something powerful happens. Either she steps up with clearer intention, or she fades away and makes space for someone aligned with your standards. And both outcomes serve your evolution, because your focus is no longer on being chosen, but on choosing wisely. And that perspective transforms your life far beyond one relationship. It reshapes how you approach work, friendships, personal growth, because you begin evaluating everything through the lens of consistency, reciprocity, and alignment with your long-term vision. And this is where true confidence forms, not from external praise, but from internal congruence. When your actions match your principles daily, when your routine reflects your ambition, when your boundaries reflect your self-respect, and from that foundation, you no longer feel anxious. When you notice someone thinking about you, you feel calm, you feel aware, you feel in control of your response, and that control is the ultimate advantage, because it frees you from emotional volatility and anchors you in deliberate growth. And once anchored, you become selective rather than reactive, strategic rather than impulsive, disciplined rather than desperate. And that transformation is the real victory hidden inside this situation. Because what begins as confusion about her feelings becomes clarity about your own direction. And that clarity reshapes your identity into someone who commands respect without demanding it, who leads without forcing, who walks away without collapsing, and who builds relentlessly regardless of who is watching. And from that position, every interaction becomes a choice rather than a need. Every connection becomes an addition rather than a lifeline, and your life shifts entirely from chasing subtle signals to constructing tangible success, which is the most powerful move you can make when you realize she has been thinking about you all along. Most people will ignore this message and go back to chasing mixed signals, scrolling for validation, and blaming the world for their confusion. But a small percentage will decide that today is the line in the sand where weakness ends and discipline begins. And if you are ready to stop being emotionally reactive and start becoming strategically powerful, then the Stoic Relationship Blueprint ebook for men is your next move, because it is packed with timeless Stoic principles applied directly to modern relationships, so you can think clearly, act decisively, and never beg for clarity again. Society profits from keeping you distracted, insecure, and dependent on approval, but this knowledge rewires you into someone calm, self-controlled, and respected. And it is now available in audiobook format, so you can absorb it while walking, training, driving, turning dead time into personal evolution. The link is in the comments, and once you own it, this knowledge is yours for life, to revisit whenever you need strength, direction, and grounding. Comment, "I choose discipline," if you are ready to grab it, like this video, and subscribe so more people find these truths and avoid years of regret.